Good evening. Welcome to the Mancunian Way. We are going to start a normal intro. I just wanted 5 minutes of your time before we get rolling. Because I just want to be honest with people and explain what's going on. People will have known I have had a lot of abuse and a lot of nastiness being said over the last 2-3 weeks. Got a little bit personal about threats of violence, etc., etc., and I've not dealt with it very well because I understand I'm in a space where it is very public, very loud, very everything. But I need to be honest with people as well. My father took a very bad turn about 2.5-3 weeks ago. He'd been in and out of hospital galore. People who know my mother and my father both have Alzheimer's. I'm not dealing with things very well at the minute. So that's why I have took a step back a little bit from things at the moment. I am going to be on tonight. I'm going to disappear for an hour. I've got to go and sort something with my mother and then I'll be back. But I need to be honest, people. Spaces will return. They will be done very, very differently. We're going to do it one at a time. One at a time is the way we're going to do it. One speaker at a time with a couple of really good people who I can trust as co-hosts. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has sent DMs, personal messages, everything to what people realise. And I understand people are hurting right now over the football club. But what people got to realise is I use this platform and Manchester City as an outlet. This is an outlet for me to talk to fellow Blues. Not to be abused. Nobody in this fan base should be abused. We are all entitled to an opinion. You may not agree with that opinion. It's okay. People have got different backgrounds, different everything going on. But just remember, nobody on these platforms is going to get paid. Alan doesn't get paid. Ozzy doesn't get paid. Tone doesn't get paid. The channel gets paid. And every penny we get from the channel goes back into your channel. And there's this thing at the minute, I don't allow opinions. I do allow opinions. But what I don't have to do is agree with everyone's opinion. I can disagree. Nobody wants Manchester City to spend 600-700 million more than me. Nobody. But if I can come on here and tell you we're going to spend 600 million, I'd be lying to you. Because no club is ever going to do that anymore due to the silly PSR problems that is in football now. But we work together best as a fan base together. And I know people don't like it. And it's not even happy clappy and it's not main road crews. We're all Blues. We're all Blues. And you will hear from people you've not heard from in a long time. Because I'm going to be straight. I said it on Footy Judge Mo yesterday. We've given it the big bollocks for 4 years. We've gloated to everyone for 4 years about how great we are and how top we are. Do you know what? We have to sit back and take a little bit of humble pie now. That's football. We said it's a roller coaster. City will be back. Let them write us off forever. We will be back. We just need to get it out. But this 600 million in Jan, 4 out, 4 in, I wish I could tell you it was going to happen, but it's not. But always remember, you never know what's going on in someone's personal life. Being a caregiver or a full-time carer is not easy. I live on 2 or 3 hours sleep a day. And this isn't a pity thing or anything. This is just, I don't do this for the abuse. Whether I go on LB's show or City Luke or Not in My Lifetime or whatever, Alan doesn't do it for abuse. Ozzy doesn't do it for abuse. We all have different opinions. We all have different backgrounds on Manchester City Football Club. This channel was set up to give everyone a voice, the Mancunian way, because the Mancunian way is to accept everybody in the world. Yeah. That's the Mancunian way. We accept all cultures, all people, So anyone who tells me that I'm racist or whatever else, there's no channel out there that has given more of a platform to worldwide fans than the Mancunian way. We were the first one to do it. And that's not a big flex or anything. That's the way we are. We are a family. It's your channel. So the people that are on tonight, respect their opinion. You don't have to agree with their opinion, but please respect their views. Respect everyone's views. Because anyone who hates me, fine, hate me. But you ain't driving me nowhere. All you've done is stuck a stick of dynamite up my ass and made me go more determined than ever. So you know what? I ain't going nowhere. Deal with it. So what I'm going to do now is wish you all a great time. I'll be back at 9:30 to join in the show. I'm going to disappear. We're going to go into the intro. And I'm going to leave you with Alan, Ozzy, Fee, Tone, Rich. Hopefully Pat. Depends if he's doing his Paddington Bear in Peru at the moment. But big up. I'll stick your comments up on the show. I'll be back in an hour. Yeah. See you later, all.
Okie dokie.
I did a Martin. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone tonight?
Good, thanks.
All right.
How are you all?
Excellent.
Oh, excellent.
Apart from I've got my morning jobs to do.
And good evening to Richard's daughter there.
Yes. She's getting ready for school, mate.
I'm going to say, looks like it.
Yeah, she's getting ready for school. So,
Alan, you're looking very dressed up tonight. What's going
I've
on?
got my shirt. I've got my away shirt on, mate, because I got up, had a shower. It's quite warm outside, so the house is really quite warm at the moment. So I've got my shorts on and my football top on, and then I'm going to go downstairs and get changed for work because I'm going to go to the office today. So yeah, all good. Rich, did you enjoy India beating Australia? Because I did.
Whoa. We don't talk about cricket on this channel.
Yeah, but
Alan knows better than that. And Rich, don't you start.
There are times when it's entertaining, other sports to get your mind off things.
Mate, after a few weeks we've had, mate, I'll talk about it. But there we go. It's the one thing about it over here, Ozzy, is if Australia get beat at anything, it's in page 12 in the bottom right-hand corner about 2 lines. That's right. But if they win, it's every single page with this, with that, with this. It's quite hilarious. Actually, never existed.
When we could learn a lot from it. When you lose 5 in the trot, you can pretend it hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's what they do. They pretend
it doesn't exist. And
if only we could do that, Rich. Do you know what I mean? If only we could
focus on the
lock
women's
outside those rival fans. If only we could not listen to the rubbish that have been spouting over the last, 24 to.
Oh my God! Yeah, the rubbish. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, Fee, it is great to have you back on.
Hiya, sorry. Thank you. Internet again. I live in the hills, so it's a bit on and off.
Oh, that's right. It's not as bad as Martin's. Martin's is a lot worse. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm all right, by the way. Sorry, just a bit trying to get the kids in bed as well at the same time. There's just little heads poking behind the door, so I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm good. How is everyone?
I was all right for 65, 75 minutes there, and then I put my head behind a barrier and just nearly cried. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I had my head literally down on the barrier in the south stand, just like I can't even look anymore. Can't look.
Tone, yeah. Did you and Alan just coordinate between yourselves?
I actually just had that on, I was going to wear that as well.
Top man, Alan. Only the top blues wear this top tonight.
Mate, he did text me last night, so there we go. And I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Good evening, right, Tone. How are you?
Right? All good?
Yeah.
You all good?
Yeah, good.
All good.
How are you?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Thank you. Yeah, all good. All happy. Ready for Sunday. Just thinking how many we're going to win by. Don't know. 1, 2, maybe 3. Don't know.
Wow,
still
being
thinking.
Optimistic all of a sudden, Tone.
Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
You've got that feeling, have you?
Yeah, I think everything's set up for us to win on this weekend, because normally we go there in supreme form. They're a bit dodgy and it all goes the opposite way. So I think now's the time that they'll be the supremely confident one. Pep can overthink things this time. Because,
are you hoping for a typical City result?
So
are you hoping for a typical City result?
I'm hoping for 1986 to be revisited. It's a long time ago. Clive Wilson, he's going to come on. I've never been to a game where we were bigger outsiders than Boxing Day '86, and Clive Wilson managed to, take out that, that great Liverpool side. So I think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, I think, can we keep it within this century, Rich, please?
And I'm feeling quite nostalgic City losing games. It was getting a bit boring winning all the time. So I think it's brought a bit of, interest and a bit of jeopardy and stuff back in a really big way.
Like the old days, Rich, back in the 90s, mate.
Exactly. Oasis are back.
City, dinosaurs are in the room.
Wales keep losing. I mean, it's yeah. England
Rich,
will probably start losing at cricket all the time. It'll be perfectly back to the old
normal. Yeah, mate, Rich, me and Tom were talking about. It reminded me of the day when we played Bournemouth away, and we were 3-0 up at half time. Promotion.
89.
And then I was there. Tone apparently was there.
Yeah,
and he was. And they got it back for 3 each, wasn't it? I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, it was like Harry Carey at the back as well. I remember the day. And it was just the younger people out there that are not used to this. We used to have results like that every month without fail. It was catastrophic half the time. So you just that's who City are. So I thought City had gone. No, it's not. It's back.
Yeah. If you want to realise we're not as bad as we, we're at sometimes, you just need to go back and what was it about, early 90s QPR, the worst 30 seconds of football in Premier League history.
Oh yeah, I was behind the goal. I was behind the goal. I was there.
Watch
Really
that
close.
30 seconds back. That was
just
absolutely
before we get on, because Rich, I want to get your opinion. Tone, I want to get yours. Phil, I want to get yours. Alan, you were on last night, obviously doing the match review, so we don't need to hear too much about what you think about the result. But just before I get onto that question, super chat, as Martin is like flashing the screen, really took our attention. So I will do it, Martin. City Luke TV, thank you, mate. We really appreciate it. Yes, Martin. Good evening. Good evening, Luke. It's nice to see you, mate. And on cue, competition. As you're aware, if you're not aware, we are sponsored by Football Prizes. Obviously, this month they are doing a fantastic prize. 2 hospitality tickets for the derby. Competition ends on Monday, the 2nd of December. Entries must be in before 7:30 that evening. The draw takes place live on Monday, 2nd of December. It is a fantastic competition. Obviously, some of the other prizes, including shirts. I think one's Phil Foden. So, yeah, it's definitely a competition that you want to get on as soon as possible. Thank you, Martin. So, Rich, Fee, Tone, just want to kind of get your views, as we've not heard from you guys about, obviously, the Feyenoord result. Pretty disappointing. I think most of us feel it was a loss rather than just a draw. So, what are your feelings, Rich?
Well, I think watching it when their first goal went in, I thought we're going to collapse now, and that's a worrying thing because normally, 6 months ago, when the other team scored, you'd think we're going to get really annoyed and score in the next 30 seconds because of their impudence to score against us. So I think mentally, we're feeling the fragility that is in the team. I had a bit of a, debate with Martin about this. He was, saying, well, Pep shouldn't have made those substitutes, and undoubtedly the substitutes changed the game and that went. But my view was at 70 minutes, if you can't hold on to a 3-0 lead at home against Feyenoord with the players we have, it's not Pep, it's the players. Because, honestly, Stuart, your average Division 2 team would be able to hold on to a 3-0 lead against Feyenoord in the last 20 minutes if they were organised. So, you can't blame Pep because there's, even though that was the catalyst, so you can't make mistakes like that. And it's just totally and utterly confidence because you see, who's making the mistakes. It's actually, Gvardiol, Edison, it's not just been, I know everyone tries to blame Walker for everything, even when he's not playing, but, it really has caught the whole team. I think the one thing that I think may change a bit is Diaz, because I do think Diaz is the leader of the defence. I do think he will make sure there was a sloppy offside again where one defender was 4 yards behind the others. I think Diaz will sort some of that stuff out. So, I think that's pretty desperate. And I think we're going to have to think really hard about, how we go against Liverpool, because, I think we almost need to put Gvardiol into midfield or something and get Ake left back, I think, for playing Liverpool. But the sad thing is, when that goal went in, I thought, oh no, we're going to screw this up. And I had to, on the 90th minute, I had to rush my daughter down to school. And I honestly thought, I'm going to pause it, come back and watch it. And I thought, it's going to be 4-3 to Feyenoord, because I just thought, we have crumbled so much. We're going to, 4-3. They can't get 5, can they? Because it felt a bit like that.
It. Yeah, it did. Faye, what do you think of the result?
Yeah, obviously it wasn't great. I mean, it was at the beginning, I'll be honest, I was really G'd up. I thought, yes, this is it. Obviously a lesser opposition, if you like, than the Premier League opponents, but it was just, the feeling was fantastic. And obviously I was at the game thanks to Luke, and literally everybody was so buoyed up about it. We were playing well. I was like, yes, this is really, really good. And then you could just see the clear mistakes, and everybody in tandem was just like, oh, every time there was a misplaced pass, and the bottle just, I hate to use the bottle word because obviously it relates to Arsenal, but just like we bottled it completely and we fell apart. And the confidence, you could see, obviously being at the game, you could see it a bit more detail, but the players were just demoralised, and you could see it. They were just, it fell apart. Guardiola, obviously, he had a terrible game. And I agree with what, was it you, Rich, said about putting him in midfield. We've joked about it, but why not? He either needs a rest or to be switched up, because there's something clearly not right there. But yeah, it was just disappointing. It just felt really, really sad for everybody. I just thought, what a chance, and we've just thrown it away. It was a roller coaster. It wasn't nice to watch.
Yeah, no. Tone?
Well, I saw some people saying we played really well up until we went 3 up. I didn't think we played that well first half, to be honest. I thought we were a bit of a mixed bag. And then start the second till 3, really good. Really, really good. And you thought this could be 4, 5, 6. This could be anything. And as we all know, the changes happened. Completely with Rich on that, though. This team should be able to... Simpson, it doesn't matter who. You're 3 up against, with the greatest of respect to Feyenoord, they're not Real Madrid, they're not Bayern Munich, they're not Liverpool or whoever. They're a mid-table Premier League level team. I would say maybe at best, maybe that's a tad harsh. You're 3 up at home, you're cruising. I'm not going to dig Simpson out at all. I'm not even going to go into all that. But I thought McAtee, I hate doing this because it certainly wasn't his fault that it finished 3-3. He didn't take his chance at all. I'll be honest, I thought he was terrible when he come on. And again, he's not the only one, but I'm just talking about the changes that were made. Gvardiol was awful. Bernardo, terrible again. I don't know what's going on with him. He looks exhausted. Yeah,
think how much football he's played. Think how much football he's... Yeah. In world football, he's played more games than Bernardo over the last 5 seasons.
True.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, and he looks knackered. And the problem is he's normally one of the key components when we go to Liverpool, because he's the one that's running everywhere, and he loves winding the Scousers up, doesn't he? And he plays really well against Liverpool normally. Is he going to do it Sunday? I'm not convinced, because he looks knackered. And Martin said on a show yesterday, a day before, it's on the Spaces, and he said, you can't blame Kyle Walker. Well, actually, I saw someone blaming Kyle Walker on Twitter today for the 3-3, saying it was him on the bench putting the players off and making them laugh before they come on, which was amazing. I mean, that's got to be the biggest agenda ever.
If there's a way to blame Kyle Walker at the moment, I think we're finding a way, aren't we, as a fan base?
Yes, clearly.
Do you reckon it was that same fan that Paul Lake wrote about in his book who was shouting and blaming Paul Lake for everything went wrong, and Paul Lake tapped him on the shoulder because he was sat in the stands behind injured, and he's like, seriously, you're blaming me?
Yeah. There's not much I can add to the results, apart from one of the things I quite liked is it was in the second half, and I don't know if everybody else noticed, but Diaz kind of pulled back and was playing like a bit of a double pivot with Gundo, and that seemed to work quite well before Gundo went off. And I just feel that having Nunes in the midfield once he found his feet in the second half, especially, like he really did quite well for me.
Yeah, Nunes has got legs. Nunes has got legs.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say, Rich, is that I think having the legs in the midfield definitely helped.
Yeah.
Because I think Tone's right, and you're right, Rich, with the talking about, Gundo, the legs have gone. Like, it's just simple as. Sadly, we've just got no choice, I think, come Sunday to put him in midfield. And you're right about Bernardo Silva. He was dog crap. He was really bad. And I feel like if we could rest him as well at the weekend, we should. There are a number of players. No, I know. I'm getting on to that, Alan. But
and the problem,
it's like Guardiola, he should need a rest. He needs a rest. He needs to be put on the bench and just given some time, because he's made some serious mistakes. And you've got to think, okay, he's not injured, but mentally, he looked shot. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. That result is because as soon as that, and it's happened so many times over the last couple of games where we concede one, and all of a sudden the team just looked mentally shot.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the capitulation from the players. There wasn't one player on that pitch that was making the right decisions of that. Just keep it together. Let's just get through this game, see it out, win the game. Didn't happen.
It's been going on all season. As soon as the team score against us, we have a few minutes where we just lose our heads. There's no composure whatsoever, and it's a mental thing. It's purely a mental thing because we all know they can play football, right? And they can play the game, but it's like no one's taking control and saying, "Calm down, lads. Get the ball and keep it. Pass it around. Keep it. Get our confidence back."
And to be honest, Alan, that's not just this season. We've had a tendency to that for most of the last decade. We've had tendencies under, Pellegrini, under even Mancini, and all through Pep's reign, where we often do 2 goals very close together. You think of the amount of times Spurs seem to have scored twice against us.
Palace, United at Old Trafford
over the years. Yeah, we get one, and then we don't get our head back always. Sometimes we go back and score at the other end, but sometimes we almost go to like we're going to go and score, and then we make another sloppy mistake. We don't always, and I think that's one thing that probably changed in the treble season. I think after the Real Madrid, I don't know what the term for it is in 22 in the semi-final. I think in the treble season we were for that season we were incredibly focused on if we conceded, we were going to be rock solid. We were going to calm the game down. We were going to not let the opponent have the ball for 3 minutes. And it's almost like we learned a lesson. And for 23 and, part of 24, we kept that lesson going. But I think we're back where we were, when we conceded, 2 goals against Real Madrid in 2 minutes. I think we've got a bit of that at the moment. So I think it's always been there as an underbelly because of the way Pep sets up and, the mentality of some of our players in wanting to go and score.
It feels though we are on the pitch right now. It feels there isn't leaders. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Diaz, you're right, Rich. He would usually be at the back. He would not be that presence where he would keep it aligned, keep the players around him solid. He's obviously not there. Rodri in midfield, always solid. Always able to command the players in front of him. It feels just that we're void of those senior players stepping up right now. And the senior players that are on the pitch, the likes of Gundo and Bernardo Silva, even Ake, I'd even put in that bracket, and Haaland to an extent, they're not on that pitch galvanizing the players going, come on.
Well, I think the problem is when you're like Gundo and Bernardo are struggling themselves, when we've had these moments, they're knackered, they're struggling, they're not feeling in control of their own game. And it's very, very hard to, shout and rise other players up when you're possibly the one who feels you're letting them down. So I think that's one of the problems. You need someone who's completely unself-aware. Like a John Terry. John Terry could have been having a bad game, but that wouldn't stop him shouting, galvanizing, every one of it, because it was almost like he lacked in self-awareness if he was doing anything. So, and that was a really positive characteristic. And it wasn't often. He was a bloody good player, but and so could always galvanize. We almost need that kind of back now. Like Vinny Company, he could make a mistake and then shout at the goalkeeper for not saving his mistake. And I think we need a few of those personalities. I reckon Rodri. We just need some real leadership in the team.
Do you know what the biggest danger of all now is, though, Rich? When we're playing now, when we
Nuclear
do
war? No,
when we do concede a goal, whether it be through a sloppy mistake or just normal, concede a goal, is our fans will get so nervous now, and that will go straight onto the players. That is the biggest danger of all now, because they don't trust them. The fans don't trust them, and that's very, very as soon as they score, we'll all be shitting ourselves because of what's going on.
Well,
It's not just one game. This has been going on for weeks.
And they're not used to it. I mean, to be fair, look at the fans at home. They've gone just shy of two years. They haven't seen us lose. So until Spurs. So it's not like that. That's the thing. The fans aren't even used to, what the concept is of City, not just strolling to victory. We may make it a little bit hard and let the likes of Ipswich and Brentford, etc., score first, but we've not lost since before the World Cup until Spurs. So, it's a complete change. That's probably why it's a massive shock mentally. And I remember, when it wasn't 5 games on the trot, but when Arsenal, the Invincibles, finally, lost the game, they went out of the cup, I think, or lost in Europe, a few days after that, and then lost another game. So it's like you've held on to these records, and let's not forget, before these 5 defeats, City were on one of our longest unbeaten runs ever. We were 2 years unbeaten at home. We were in the record in the Champions League for the most games without a loss. So we were on the back of an absolute incredible run of form. It wasn't like, we were in normal form and then we lost it. So, and that's why mentally it's just, but it's almost like everyone has held on mentally and physically. And suddenly, whether it's, football in the summer or what it is, but 4 or 5 players are suddenly mentally and physically have gone over the top. And, some of them may not rest and come back to their best. I mean, I was sort of Mane. There was at Liverpool where Klopp hammered his players. The way Mane and Firmino and some of those players just dropped off suddenly because of the mental and physical, pressure of playing like they had for so many years. It's happened, and I hope some of the players come back, but some of them are probably old enough that maybe they haven't got the legs and the mentality.
Well, I do think.
Alan, just before you come in, mate, I'm getting Martin buzzing the hell out of us about this super chat, and I do want to mention it, because Luke has been waiting a while. Thanks again, mate, for it. Appreciate it. I'll donate again. I wonder if Morton Moraes is here.
This is a guy who's haunting Tone particularly. Thinks it's somebody he knows.
Okay. Can he play left back?
Potentially, I'll get him in.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon he sounds like a good football, good name,
Mort married.
Play left back. Yeah, Mort Marions.
Yeah, why not?
Also, Shredders, thanks for your membership for 7 months. Appreciate it, mate.
Don't talk about him, Rich.
And from the City fan, member for 17 months. Wow, mate, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
And on cue, of course, Martin. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. Again, we don't ask, but we always appreciate super chats and obviously becoming members of the channel. It's fantastic.
Quick one. When they scored the first goal against us, when Guardiola passed it straight to them, did the crowd get very uneasy and nervous just after that?
Yeah, I think that everybody was really, really dejected, more so on that first one, because it obviously felt like, not again. We've conceded. We really thought we were going to win 3-0, clean sheet. You could hear everybody collectively sigh, and that was the atmosphere. It was sad. Right. Yeah. Nobody was booing by it. Well, I didn't hear any booing. I've heard a lot of rumours about it, but I didn't hear any.
I did at the end. It came from the Colin Bell stand.
Right. Well, I think, though, there was a lot of Feyenoord fans in there. A lot. And they were excitable fans, shall we say.
Well, the sunshine came back. down. You know,
Yeah.
I was too busy going kicking things around the pub.
Yeah.
I think we have to accept that at the moment, you know, realistically, collective head loss on that field with the 11, really. It's a collective physical, mental fatigue with the players. That is what's going on with, especially with the injuries. It just feels that this is one of the big reasons that we are losing, or drawing, as in the case last night.
Yeah.
I think I want to move on from that. I want to move on from the Champions League game, just because, like, Alan and Pat covered it really well last night. So let's move on to the big topic of tonight, which I think is going to be our only topic really for the rest of this show, because it's quite big, and it's obviously, how do we stop the rot? And I don't think there's an easy answer to that question. I really don't. I think it's a difficult one, because we feel like we're literally like have players that are running on empty, that are running on shoestrings. It just feels, and the fan base has just got to a point where, as is kind of you, I think it was you, Rich, saying that, we've got to the point where we're unbeaten for so long at home, and then to be beaten, it just feels that the Etihad has been a fortress for us. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was just the nature of the draw. Do you know what I mean? It really felt so hard. So anyone can step up if anyone's got any idea of how we stop the rot.
Win at Anfield.
Yeah.
Simple as that, Tony. Simple as that.
There isn't a better game we could have to stop a rot.
To beat the bin dippers would be brilliant.
If you beat Liverpool, right?
We just remembered never let Alan on the day before a Liverpool game.
I know. No one's mentioned it. I know.
What were we thinking?
We're breaking our channel. Just realised. Yeah.
Alan, try and keep it together. That's all I ask.
I won't mention. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Alan, I'm saying this. Scousers are people too. Ish.
Like, I've got two of my best ever friends are Scousers, as you know they are. So So and one of them spent enough time in my spare room here. So let's just let's get it correct. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to take time for a lot of the players to come back to be fully fit. I think half of the team we're playing now are playing with injections in their legs. I think half of them are still injured. They're not match fit. I said to Martin a few weeks ago, I think it's going to be at least another 2 or 3 weeks before we even think about getting our full strength side back, if not more. I'm playing at Anfield tomorrow. I fear the result. I'll be honest with you. If anyone is confident, because I'm not, I fear how many they're going to put past us. I'll be honest with you.
No, look, our backs are against the wall. No one's expecting us. That may help us. I'm trying to look to some way of trying to look. If you win at Anfield, and it's a massive if at the moment, but if you do, the mood changes. It literally immediately is complete 180. So you can't. Yeah, the whole mood around the camp changes. The fans change. Everyone's up Monday going, we're 5 off the top and all this sort of stuff. Second spot, 5 off the top. Just beat the best team in the league away. It's a massive if, right? I'm not saying we're going to.
I don't know, Tony. You're sounding too much like a real happy clapper right now. You're going a bit too far.
I'm all good with that, Ozzy. I'm good. If I'm happy clapper, so be it. It's all good with me. But look, it's going to be a really tough game, but I'd never count us out over a season. Win, lose, or draw Sunday, obviously a loss would be very difficult from there. But I wouldn't count us out over a season even then. I know many have already. I was told today this is the Liverpool era. I mean, they're top in November, for Christ's sake. So, yeah, we'll see what happens Sunday. Obviously, they're the favourites. It'll be one of the very few games we go into where we're not the favourite with the bookies. for a reason and a valid reason. But I still expect these boys and Pep and everybody to step up. They've had their little few weeks rattled and looking terrible. Now they need to step up in the biggest game of the season. And this is the biggest so far. Step up, or, you know, I was talking with someone in and around the sort of, how can I put this? In and around the club, basically, that was saying today he thinks some of the players are not playing for Pep. That was just an opinion. But that is a massive concern if that is true, just leading into this game as well. If players are not working and doing what they're told, that's a massive worry. So sorry, I was on positive, and then I've gone to complete.
Tony, you've just completely just opened Pandora's box there, mate. Like that now, that's going to be clipped and it's going to go everywhere.
Probably.
Thanks to you, Tom. So, no, I mean, I think in all honesty, just with that comment, and I'll bring you in, Alan, I promise. But with that comment, like it is true. If some of these players have just like down tools or they're not playing for the manager, sorry, but he's just signed a new contract.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can guarantee you the players that aren't playing, you'll be out the door.
Yep.
Because Pep ain't gonna go. Do you know what I mean? That's just the reality of it. I promise you, it doesn't matter who it is, what player, you're out the door because the club are going to back Pep, not the players.
The club will, Ozzy, you're right. And Caldoon will say Pep over any player. It doesn't matter who it is, Pep first. But the only thing I would say is, and let's, God forbid this happens, but if we lose to Liverpool, and then we've got another tough game with Forest, and we lose those two, and then we've got Palace away, and let's just say we lose those 3 games. How many scratch marks can Pep put on his head, before he starts properly going bloody balmy? And there have to be severe questions then. I'm not saying sack Pep under any circumstances. Never. He's unsackable. But will Pep, what's Pep always said before he signed a new contract? The players still want to work for me. The players are still working hard. They're learning new things. If he sees that these players are not doing that, a massive if, but if they're not, could there be a time where he thinks, I've got nothing more to do here? Yeah. Again,
I think Pep would do. Let's be honest. I think Pep, if he's always said that if he loses the dressing room, he loses the support of Caldoon and the rest, he'll walk. He'll walk before he's sacked because he's got that much integrity.
It also depends, Tony, entirely about who. If, for example, KDB and Walker know they're going this summer, they know they're on the way out for whatever reason, and mainly because of their own ability to play 90 minutes of football at the level they're at. And if they know that, then obviously half of them is going to be out the door. They're not going to be playing for the manager. They're going to be worrying about where they're going to get a $500,000 a week contract in Saudi or the US next season, how they can get one massive payout before they go. So if something like that's happened, which looks to me like, there is no doubt something going on with De Bruyne. He's been able to be on the bench for 6 weeks, and that's not just easing him back in, so there's something, whether De Bruyne's feeling the on his body that he's been battered and injured and playing for 15 years and everything, whether he knows he's going, those things are there. So I think if that's what's happening, it's if Pep has lost the likes of Diaz and Guardiola and, players who we know are going to, Haaland, players who we know are going to be around for years to come and go into the next season. If those players were at odds with the manager, then that would be a massive problem.
I think you've got to. I think you've got to also look at, like you were saying, Ozzy. How can you change things? And I think you've got to maybe, if that is the case, Rich, then maybe he's got to look at some players who are going to work hard for him and change things, and their attitudes are better, because that can change a game as well. If you've got fresh people who might not have to be necessarily who you pick But in a case like this, where it's loss after loss after loss, maybe you've got to look at it in a different way. You know, like players like Ortega, I think you should bring Ortega in. But, you know, he's got a really, really good rate of play, just as good as Edison. You know, when you just look at it all. But anything that changes it up in a positive way.
Yeah.
Anything that changes it up in a positive way, you know, is good. And it doesn't always necessarily have to be the way we all expect it to be, because they know.
Oh, dial up.
Oh, yeah.
That dial up.
I think where Fee's going with it is that, yeah, I kind of see a point. You know, I think there are certain players that just need to be dropped for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Because some players' mentality is just on the floor. And I think for their own protection, some players may need to be pulled out. And obviously, Pep will feel that he has to have a balance of players that he feels are going to be, that he can't take off the field because there is nobody else. But my argument to that slightly is that there are the likes of O'Reilly, McAtee, who, okay, regardless of the final result when McAtee came on, I just feel that Pep has not utilised his players. We have been needing these players to come on and, you know, just help get us through this period. And I just feel if Pep doesn't trust these players to help us out right now, then they don't deserve to be on the bench. And that's no offence to these players. It's just the reality of, if you can't trust them when you need them, then what's the point of them being there? That's the only. Go on, Alan, because I know you've been dying to get in, mate.
I think something has gone on over the last 4 weeks. With certain individuals in the team. You know, and I mean, Pep's got frustrated and said a few things to a few people, I think, and players have not agreed, and there's been arguments. Okay, and I think that possibly has belled over in the changing rooms after the game in midweek, and I think all his scratches and his ripped nose and all this thing. I think there's been some players have got a little bit of arguments in the change rooms, and it's been broken up, to be honest with you, allegedly. And that's fine. What happens in the changing room stays in the changing rooms for me. I
thought he was just pulling his own hair out that he doesn't have. Alan.
No, mate, he's not. I think he's broken something up. And you know, I played in team sports, and I've always had a rule: what happens in the changing rooms stays in there. So they can have arguments, which in one way doesn't sound very good, but two, it can actually work the other way. And that more times than not, it can work. It will work the other way, and the sort of differences out and get it out in the open, and they go forward. But there's certain individuals and some big players. I'm not, you know, going to name probably our best or one of our best players is sulking and carrying on. And you can see even when he was coming on the other night, and you know what I'm talking about, he's not exactly got a smile on his face. And there's something going on there. Now, at the end of the season, I cannot see in any way why KDB, Walker, Gundogan will be at City next season. It's time for them to move on. And
I think Gundogan stays. I think he goes into coaching.
Well, fine. I'm happy with that. But I'm talking about.
I think, you know, maybe he's available to play 20 games over the season. You know, in all comps. But you know,
I just think we need to the refresh in the summer is massive, because you can't have 34-year-olds picking up 400 grand a week, 300 grand a week. I just don't think that's possible. The club's going to take its time to rebuild and refresh the squad. It won't take 1 year; it'll take 2 years. And the fans now have got to accept that Pep's got a big job to reorganise the squad and bring in new faces. For this weekend, I agree with what you're saying, Ozzy. I'm a big one for the youngsters, you know I am. But when you're playing Liverpool away from home in their atmosphere,
no, Alan,
I'm not saying the time to bring them in.
No, I'm not saying they should come in for Liverpool. What I'm saying is that for me, some of these players should have come in before that a lot more. They should have had more minutes on the pitch.
I agree totally, 100%.
We need them. And I know people will say, well, the young players, you can't put too much pressure. I get that. But we did it with Foden. We eased him in. But this is a bit of a different period where we've got senior players that are playing through pain, killing in injections. Players that are not on the pitch, because they're just, broken, either broken legs, whatever. We just don't have the players. And I just think, for me, this spurs for me from the end of the treble, if I'm honest, because City lacked ambition after the treble, because that was the time after the treble. We saw it happened with United, which is why it did. That City didn't learn from that mistake that United. They didn't capitalise on that treble win. There were certain players that went, but there were certain players who stayed who should probably. It was the point to start moving some of these players on and bring in the fresh new players who are going to take us in to the next few, 5, 10.
They've let it go on too long with certain individuals, and and they've probably gone for sentimental reasons. If you think about it, and all right, it's happened. We've got to deal with it. But if the club don't know now, and I'm talking about the sporting director and Pep and Khaldoon, they never will. That you can't be sentimental with certain individuals, older players in the team. You just can't. We've done it before with Zabaleta and Clichy, where they went out a year too long. In my opinion, we need a left full back and we need a right full back. To me, Guardiola is a centre half. He's not a full back in my eyes. I think that Aki's.
But you know what, Alan, you say that, but 3 weeks ago, Guardiola was probably the best left back in European football playing this season, and that's the thing. Last season, Ake and Guardiola were probably the two best left backs in the Premier League. So we can say some of these things with hindsight, but actually, and there were people saying we needed to clear out some of these players in 22, and we went on and won the treble. It's just we've just gambled that one season too long. But some people thought it was 3 years ago, and had we listened, we might have rebuilt the team and not won the treble and not got the third year. It's tough. I don't know whether the doctors and the club psychologists, etc., can see what's about to come. But when you've got some of these elite players, they go over the top, and it happens quickly. And and we all say, we could have seen that, but we were thinking that 3 years ago, we were thinking that 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and it just happened at one point. And I don't know whether that should be Pep who should have seen that, should be the doctors who should see it, the physios, with the players themselves, or does it just happen and suddenly from nowhere you feel like everything's pretty good, and suddenly like you're on the pitch and your legs are gone?
To be honest, let's be honest, mate. We've seen it. Let's be honest. We've called it as fans. We've seen certain players that look like that they either want out, they've needed to go, or whatever. And if us fans can see it, then the club can see it. And I think I'm going to be honest.
I think that's true of De Bruyne and Walker, but I don't know that that's true of. I don't know that it was true that Gundogan last season was playing fantastically in the Euros this summer. He was playing fantastically. I don't know that there was any sign that Bernardo was suddenly going to drop off like he has, or some of the others. So I think we can see it in Walker and De Bruyne. De Bruyne's been injured most of the last 2 or 3 seasons. He's not actually played that. We talk about we're lacking De Bruyne, but we've actually been without De Bruyne a hell of a lot of time. And
Walker, there you go, though, Rich. Like if Kevin De Bruyne isn't fit enough to,
but we had Foden. We had Foden.
Plan.
We had Foden, the best player in the Premier League last season.
Yeah, but
and
we've looked at that midfield, Rich, and we've known it's aging for 2 years, and we've not really addressed it properly. Do you know what I mean?
We haven't addressed it in depth, but if we had, let's just say Rodri wasn't injured and Foden was playing like he was last season, we wouldn't be having this discussion. You'd have Gundogan, Bernardo, and Kovacic rotating for one place with plenty of legs in them, and we wouldn't be having this discussion. I've been very vocal for year after year that we needed a Rodri backup, and that is, I think, a really big mistake by the club. I think we've got away. Phillips we thought was going to be that, so we did try once, but we for years have had that as an issue, which we've talked about in the summer. That is an issue. No backup for number 9 if Haaland gets injured. That is an issue. Everyone can see that. But I think some of this has, I think the drop-off in Bernardo and Foden this season, no fans were saying, Bernardo and Foden are finished, are problems. Foden could be back to his best in 2 months, when things settle down, etc. But none of us saw that. We did, I feel like I'm tempted fate by saying what happens if Rodri does an ACL on one of the shows last summer, because that has been a worry, and that's one I'm a bit cross with the club for not addressing, because that was foreseeable. But I don't think the Bernardo and Foden one was, and I think things have hit a lot harder and a lot wider than anyone foresaw.
Yeah, last season as well. Sorry, Ozzy, go on.
No, go on, Faye, go.
I was just going to say, last season, we definitely didn't foresee it, because with Foden, we were thinking he was naturally going to become this successor, and the goals were coming from everywhere last season. So I didn't have any worries about it. I thought, we don't even particularly need a backup striker. When Alvarez went, I was unbothered, because they were coming in from everywhere at that point. But obviously, everything has changed now. And yeah, you're right, Rich. It's pretty unforgivable to not have a contingency plan for Rodri.
This last sort of month, it feels different. This month, do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like, we've just lost some games. There's something not right, fundamentally not right there. There's definitely you can't just point to 1, 2, or even 3 things. There's various things going on at the moment, I think, with heads dropping, the fatigue, the fitness, the injuries, the stuff behind the scenes with a couple of players that some of people have heard about, and all the rest of it. So to me, this one seems different. Like, people keep saying, Pep had it worse in the first season. This, to me, is different, completely different to the first season under Pep, because Pep had the first season as is to come in and sort stuff out, and which he did phenomenally well, as we know, since that first season. But this month just seems different to me. There's like a different attitude. The fans are like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's the fans' fault, but there's just a different feeling around this bizarre run of City. Yeah. I've never seen them have such head loss.
To be honest,
evening,
Martin. To be honest, Tony, what you saying that, it just feels to me that the club have kind of put this on the fans, really, because some of the fans have turned on some of the players, and it feels that
Rico Lewis has unfollowed Steve tonight.
I believe so, yeah, because he criticised him last week.
Oh God,
yeah. Wow. I think Tone. The reason it's a crisis like it is now is because it's the midfield. Since 2011, and getting in 2010, getting in Yaya and Silva, and since then we've obviously had the Fernandinhos, the Rodriguez, the De Bruynes. You can go on and on and on. We've had the best midfield in the Premier League year after year after year, and we've won the league because we've had the best midfield. And our midfield has got old, and we haven't rotated it enough. And the problem with when your midfield goes, it stops your attack and your defense, because it exposes your defense and it stops your attack getting quality, varied supply. And so I think in the past, I think that crisis back in that first season with the fullbacks under Pep, when it's a defensive crisis, you can still have everything going right in midfield up front and you can win games. when you have an attacking crisis, if you can, you know, Mourinho could have had an attacking crisis and gone 12 months without losing a game because, you know, the back's solid. But when the midfield goes, the whole team goes because suddenly your defence and your keeper are exposed and your attack's not getting the right supply. And that's why it's like the engine in the car's gone. And that's, you know, and that's the problem.
I'm going to jump in, by the way. Good evening to everyone. Hope you're all right. Right, two things. Anyone saying anything disgusting in the comments, you're out. You're banned immediately. Grow up. It's not 1920. People don't come in here to do that. If you ain't getting any sexual satisfaction, it ain't our fault. Sorry. Don't think you can come in and be doing it on the chat. You know what I mean?
Blimey, Alan, keep it to yourself, mate.
Do you know what I mean, Alan? Don't be making fake accounts up and going after our guests. Do you know what I'm saying, mate?
Yeah.
So what I've done is, Tone and Fee are now moderators of the channel, so anyone doing it, they can just get lost. Two things. Got a question for every single person. And I mentioned this yesterday on Man and Tone Space. Do we think the uncertainty, because stop laughing, you. We knew Cheeky was going, or the club knew Cheeky was departing in the summer. We've known that. See, Richard's dogs.
What's up with your dogs today?
Why did your dogs appear when I appear? What's going on?
Yeah, they've been out for a while now, Martin.
Yeah, you remind them of Wycombe Wanderers, so they just get
it's
on
not my voice. God, I'm getting shit off the dogs now. Never mind. City fans.
Hey, Martin, can I just quickly say, I did notice, you know, that you were off camera when more, whatever they're called, was.
No, it was not me. Don't be saying it's me.
It's one of the lads. I'm telling you now.
Ain't me. I swear down, ain't me, mate. I've been saying my mum. I was driving my mum back from hospital. Right. The other side. So Cheeky was an issue. Pep didn't decide till very late what he was doing. We're talking February. I personally think it was February when he went out to Abu Dhabi. This all got fully organized. All the offer went on the table and he went away and spoke with his family. Do you think they thought Pep was going, Cheeky's going, we'll keep our powder dry? I know it's not a good thing. But do you go and rebuild a squad when you don't know who the manager's going to be and you don't know at the time what Hugo Viana's plans are?
That's a great point, yeah.
No, it is a good point, and it's something that I've thought about as well, Martin, you know, but that's not good enough. I know that
I agree with you. I I'm not saying it's right or wrong, mate. I'm just saying, could it be a
no.
The only reason made me think about Ozzy is, do you remember Cheeky come out with that quote about 2 weeks ago about the treble? When he said the treble was great, but it landed us in a problem because everyone went knocking on the door asking for more wages. Then they started asking for bigger contracts. Then they wanted everything else. I just think they've gone into it and gone. And by the way, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I think they've just gone in and gone, shit, we don't know what we're doing now. Because we buy a player the new manager might not want.
I think there's been a lot of politics going on at the club in the last 6 months, mate. And it's not gone down well. It really hasn't.
No, but Alan, they knew Cheeky was going in the summer.
There's been
Cheeky was going in the summer. They all knew it. He told them all.
It's uncertainty. It's like going into your company and there's a lot of politics up at the top, like United, and it streams right through.
Bloody hell. That's a naughty one.
I mean,
I'll bring that back up. That's fucking brilliant.
Why is it when I appear it turns into like kids? What's happening? Is it me?
All Alan.
Alan, you were getting praised. I'm starting to think Alan's not the same Alan when I'm on screen. When I'm not here, Alan becomes a really good boy. When I'm here, Alan changes like I'm the trigger.
Testing you.
One of you needs to go then.
All right,
Alan's
in charge of the channel now. Good luck moving forward.
Ozzy, Do you think they might be estranged twins from, you know, the good and the evil twin, and they got split up at birth, and, you know, one packed off to Australia, and now they're just, you know, dueling on, you know, YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah,
By the way, big up to the 200 people who just went. Foggy, thank you so much. 10 gifted memberships again. Thank you so.
I'll tell you what, can I just say on the... Oh, sorry, you're going to do that thing, aren't you? That membership thing, aren't you? Go on, I'll say it after.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
I think you need to change. I think you need to change that picture to 2 black eyes, a busted nose, and scratches all over his head.
I'm not sure he'd thank us for that, to be honest, Alan.
When we win at Anfield on Sunday, I'll jump in the chat for briefly on Sunday night, and I'll put out 30 memberships when we beat Liverpool on Sunday. You watch. I'll be on
and
here.
If we lose, you've got to put 100 memberships in.
Bloody hell.
Stick your
By the way, the breaking news for everyone. The watch-alongs are back starting Sunday on Big Up. Anyone who has watched a Martin watch-along, you know what they're all about. You get tears, you get all sorts of stuff. But we are back with the watch-alongs starting Sunday, 3:30, live on Big Up. The link will be on social media. So there you go, 3:30 live on Sunday. All the build-up, everything. Should be a cracker.
Look forward to that, Martin.
Followed by post-match on YouTube later on.
Tone, do you genuinely think that we're going to win on Sunday?
I'm glad LB's not on here. He'd be giving me shit. That's
tomorrow. That's tomorrow, mate.
Yeah. Oh no,
really not. It's really not, Alan. It's really not. Monday is the show for you. It's still Saturday, so technically it's. You're not that. You don't skip a day, Alan.
Can I just ask one serious question, Fee? Have you ever gone into a game not really thinking we're going to win? I thought we were going to win when we were playing, you know, Premier League teams and we were in Division 2. I don't think I've ever gone into a game thinking we're going to lose in 45 years.
No, I'm normally super positive.
Unless we're top and the other team's bottom, then I might.
Well, I didn't say, Rich, that I thought we were going to lose. Can I just point that out?
That's true. That's true.
Fee, we've gone back to not knowing what team's going to turn up.
Yeah. But I like that. I like that.
We've gone back to those days. You've no idea what City team are going to turn up. And when they win, you know, I've been in a pub of people who whinged at me here, and even years ago,
just because you turned up,
when we're 3 or 4-0 up with about 3 minutes to go, I still think we're going to lose. And even to this day, and people over here, they'll go, Alan, calm down. What's the matter with you? We're winning 3-0. And when you've no idea what we're watching here, we could blow it, and they bloody well did that. And then they turned around to me on the other day and said, "Now we see what you mean. Thank you."
Yeah, I do. To answer Fee's question, I do think we'll win because I think we'll react. But I always think that. I thought we'd react the last game.
Why? What's giving you this confidence?
Because I believe in the team, and I believe they can be much better, and I believe they will be better.
Call me happy clapping, but I can't go the happy clapper. I'd take a draw right now.
Right, if he sets up right, you know, Edison and Akanji, Ake, Diaz, and who's at left, Guardiola, and then we go there from them. I know the midfield's an issue, but I believe these players, well, we all know they can play better. We know that for sure. And I believe they will play better. In one way, Rich said earlier, there is no better game in a way, because if you do win this, the whole script changes. Obviously, if you get Matt battered, then we're all on here sulking again. But
did we say this about Spurs, though, Tone?
I said this about everyone, Ozzy.
I did.
Every
like,
week.
Every time. Let's go.
I think player for player, we're better than Liverpool. I don't give a toss what Liverpool fans say. You know, they've got the best team of all time. They've won 1 Premier League title. your team's not that good. You haven't been that great in the Premier League, but your
You're
results
not going
have
to
been
Anfield
brilliant.
on Sunday, are you, mate?
No.
Just to clarify.
Bring it on. No. Bring it on, because I'm not going. So, yeah, look, I'm not discrediting them. They had an amazing start. They've had terrific results, but I personally don't think they are that good. And it's a big if City step it up, they'll win. I think they will win. Yeah. And I think they will.
Do you know what? You know, one thing I will say.
I don't think they can play 90 minutes, mate, because I don't think they're fit enough.
No, but the one thing I will say, Alan, there's this belief that we go to Anfield and get smashed every single time we rock up. We actually don't. We actually draw a lot, believe it or not. When you look at it, we draw a lot more than we actually lose.
Yeah, it's right.
I agree. We don't win many. We won 2 in God knows how long. But we have drawn a lot. I think it's 3 out the last 5 we've drawn.
Would you take a draw on Sunday?
100%.
All day long.
I would as well. I would.
Do you know why I would?
No.
And this is where my delusion does kick in. So I do apologise. My delusion kicks in now, and Rich knows exactly what I'm about to say. We can get 8 points back.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get 11 back.
Oh,
We can't get 11.
You say what I think you're going to say. There's no chance.
Oh, by the way, did you see who came on the transfer list today?
We can get.
And everyone called me a liar and deluded when I mentioned a certain Adam Wartinho. Everyone called deluded.
Why did you just pronounce it like that?
Because if I say Adam Wartinho, it sounds a lot better.
Make it sound exotic, Martin.
Yeah. If I say Adam Wharton, he's boring and no one wants him.
Adam Wartinho.
Yeah. It's like
Martin
loves a Costa Coffinio.
Dash, thank you for your time, mate. Don't fee foggy, Alan. It's a revolution time. Revolt against Kim Jong Martin. Wow. Take over the channel. Wow. Okay.
Behind the scenes, mate, you're not far wrong.
Do you know what? Hey, bastard. I am
Also,
not.
Your appraisal is not going to go well.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
Getting them to answer a frigging WhatsApp's actually good at the minute. Because Rich doesn't respond till about 3 days later. Ozzy comes in a week later. Pat does it whenever he's not on a plane. He's like, honestly, going our WhatsApp chat, it's about 12 messages of me.
You rocket boy.
Yeah. Thing is, everyone's saying we need somebody to come in ground running. Zubimendi, Edison, you could argue. Wharton, do you reckon he's somebody who could come in and just play and
no, I don't. I agree. I don't think he is. But you know he's on the list, and you know he's been on the list for a long time.
Oh yeah, for a while, yeah.
Because the problem is, and again, someone's going to hit me over the head with this. We are going to need to sign 1 or 2 English lads.
Well, I'm all in favour of that because I get accused of the same thing, Martin. Sign all English.
No. I'm not saying I don't think Adam Wharton would be the answer. Personally, I think Wharton had been more of a summer transfer. I don't see Palace letting him go in the summer.
Not in January.
I'm sorry, not in January. The problem is, whoever we do in January, we're at a point now where if you want a player and we start, I don't want to spend the whole of January haggling over 10 or 15 million quid. I'm sorry, we're in a position now where we're going to have to pay over the odds. That's just the way we are.
Well, that's our own fault.
It feels that we don't just need 1 midfielder. It feels like we need 2.
I don't think you'll get 2 in Jan.
No, but it does feel that is what's needed.
See, I'll go one further. I think we need 1 in Jan and 2 in the summer. I do think we need 3.
I just think more than that. No, I think in the summer there's got to be even more than that.
What about
2 midfielders in the summer?
Okay.
1 midfielder in Jan. And you've got 3.
What about a loanee? I.e. the Juventus guy.
But when do we ever loan Alan? When do we ever loan anyone?
Well, there's a first time for everything.
He's injured, Alan.
What, for how long?
But the problem is, Alan.
Enjoy the rest of them because they're all injured anyway.
Exactly, Alan. Wheel him in.
I hear this Douglas Luiz thing all the time. We had a buyback. We never triggered.
No.
He doesn't fancy him.
I feel we need to have someone to come in who is, if it's just going to be one player, it feels like it does need to be at least a player who's going. We can at least hope will run it, come into the club and we'll be able to just get on with it. And I think that just needs to be someone like a Zubanemdi who we've seen him play at the top level.
No chance.
For the country.
No chance.
I don't agree with that, Alan. There's nothing as no chance. He's got a buyout clause that you can activate in January. If he's got any sense at all about him, you're going to want to come out of that Real Sociedad because they're not challenging for anything. They're not going to win anything.
If he goes,
he would be crazy to turn down another Premier League club, especially one like City. I don't see it. I think if we go in January, we put the money on the table. I think he'll come
over Liverpool.
Yeah, I think he'll go to Liverpool all day long.
Over Liverpool, yeah.
Liverpool want him.
Liverpool can have him, but I think you just say to him this is what we've won compared to Liverpool. Okay, right now they're on top, but who are you going to put your faith in more? A manager who's done trebles, who's won 4 in a row and signed for another 2 years. Who guarantees you near enough success. Or Sloth, who's just come in to, coming to a very good team, but we haven't seen him bringing his own players yet and see what he can really do. He's just coming off the curtain tails of a very good manager. Let's be honest.
Who are you starting in net on Sunday? I'm going to ask the question.
Ortega.
What?
By the way, this isn't. Someone's going to come at me now and say I hate Edison. Look at Rich ditching out.
I'm going to say goodbye, but I'm keeping Edison.
Yeah,
I'm keeping Edison.
By the way, I do like Edison. I'm just saying. At the minute.
Night all.
Night, Rich.
Night, Rich.
Bye, mate.
See you, Rich.
I'm just asking a question. It's a question.
No,
Mark,
you're
don't do that.
No. Do you know what, Tone? Tone? I can understand why he's asked the question because if we're being honest, when he came out the way he did for that second goal was just horrendous. We've seen him do it in the past, but this was just such a...
Sorry.
It was so blasé. It was unbelievable. And if Ortega would have done that, Tone, you'd have put a tweet out. And be honest, you would have done. You would have done. You would have done.
He's got a point, Tone.
No,
you would have done.
No, I wouldn't. Right, honest, right?
Lying sod.
That is not all on Edison. That goal is definitely. If you've seen the line,
of course it is.
No, it's not all on Edison.
So who shouted to Edison? Come 40 yards out your net, mate. Come and have a run.
I'm not saying Edison's faultless. I'm just saying he's not the fault with that goal. The fault.
Of course, he's the fault. If he's not there,
of course he is.
How's he not the fault for that, Tone? You are protecting there, mate. You're protecting.
Hang on. Martin, Tone, you're talking bullshit. There's no way. That's not
Alan's
his fault.
Back.
Yeah,
Alan is back.
I don't think he did well for the second goal. He wasn't even in front of the post. What was he doing?
Yeah, no, that one fine, but that one where he ran
out, drop him.
I still stand by the main fault with that goal is the back line, not Edison. There's no way you drop Edison, and there's no way Pep will.
Drop him.
I think, by the way, I think Nabil asked a very good question, and if it is possible, I'd look at it. Could you cut Callum Doyle's loan short in Jam?
Of course you could. Whether or not the club will do it is another question, in all honesty.
Because he's doing very well. He's broke into the under-21s. I'm just saying, maybe. I'm not saying as a first teamer, just to give us some stability, because I do think Edsbrand and maybe McAtee could go in Jam.
I think McAtee's
I think they've got to go. I think they've both got to go. To be honest,
I'm sounding like LB now. I'm bringing in about 8 plays in Jan.
Yeah,
I've got in the trap.
Boy.
But just back onto your point about Edison. I mean, the question's got to be asked because I know why you're asking it. Because I turned around, a a couple of games into the season, I turned around and said, Ederson's not particularly performing well. His head was turned in the summer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Has he really got the mentality of wanting to be here still? You know, I can understand why you've asked that question, because is he fully committed to this club? He's only got, what, a year left on his contract? Is it a year, 2 years left?
A year after this one, yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, and 2 seasons to be including this one. I don't know if you want to be including this one.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, we've got a number of players that are up in the next year or two. And for a goalkeeper, especially of Ederson's stature, for me, you'd think he'd be tied down longer now, because, you know, he's still at a virtually young age. What, he's 30? For a goalkeeper, that's still young enough to keep him in the net for another 10. You know, some goalkeepers are going to. I'm not saying he'll be here for another 10, but, you know, I would have expected by now that City would have tied him down to a longer term contract. And if they haven't, and then questions, I think, have got to be asked. You know,
Do you think
but that is true, by the way. Real Madrid also are looking at Zubimendi.
Great.
Yeah, marvellous.
Now, maybe you could do that and get a Tushimena.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm playing FIFA. I'm going down the road.
Really
Don't killing me.
85 rating.
You haven't got us for doing it, you know.
They're Barcelona as well. Yeah.
No, look, Edison has been one of our better players this season.
No, Tone. I agree with you. Tone, I agree. He's been good. No, he has been good.
I think
I'm just saying. A couple of games he has been, but, you know.
I'm just saying. I love Edison. I think he's the best goalie with his feet for Manchester City, 100%. But, you know, Tone, his contract is stalled at the minute and is completely not moving. Is it playing into it? I don't know. But he just... The thing was, Edison was always the guy against Fulham one-on-ones. Stopped them all. Wednesday night, or Tuesday night, sorry, was like the old head, blood rush to the head job. And when our defence is dodgy, your goalie has to stay strong as well. Yeah, now, maybe it's a one-off. Maybe it's a one-off. I'm not killing him before you come at me.
Yeah, right. But anyone who's saying it's Edison's fault, if Edison does not come out for that ball, he went. No, if Edison doesn't come out for that ball, let me make my point.
Alan, it's his opinion. Let him finish.
Let me finish.
You have a go at me around protecting Bernardo. This is a fucking example of it now, eh?
Alan, let him finish. Alan, let him finish. It's
if he does not come out, there are 2 final players running 30 yards on their own. Now, if he stands on his bloody goal line, everyone sulks goes, "Why is he bloody well not come out?" Edison had no. In my view, he had to come out and he took the risk and it didn't work. That I'm all for that. But the reason why is because these bloody dickheads at the back left the back half pitch completely open at 3-2 for no reason whatsoever. Just absolutely bizarre. If you look at the line as well, the picture as he plays that ball through, it's like a diagonal bloody back line. The batting, I'm not saying he's faultless, Edison, but in my view, it's not his fault, that goal. No way. It's the back line. And he starts on Sunday.
I think you're right, Tone. I think he has to take responsibility for some of it, but you're right, the back line was awful. Absolutely awful.
I get the feeling Alan doesn't agree, you know.
It's too high.
Yeah, it was too high, way too high to, you know, especially at that point in the game, you know, you've got to be thinking about it properly, and those players just weren't. You're right, I don't think he will be dropped, and I don't think he should be dropped. But I'm under what I can understand why Martin's asking the question. Do you know what I mean? Because
it was only a question before World War III broke out. It was just a question.
Yeah.
And he's a good commentator. He's very good.
Can we have a space with Conway on that to start that conversation?
No. Spaces will be back when I've got a couple of co-hosts.
Conway will hit the roof if you heard that.
I don't think Zubimendi wants to come to England. That is part of the problem with Zubimendi, is getting the guy out of frigging Spain. And if Real Madrid and Barcelona are in for him, well, he's got no reason to even leave the damn place. It is what it is.
No, but there are other players on the list, aren't there, Martin?
Yeah,
we're not
I'll be honest with you. I
putting
prefer Edison anyway. I think Edison suits us.
Yeah,
I have seen a
100%.
bit more of Edison at the moment. I think he suits us more than a Zubermender because I think there's more about him as a player. Zubermender is excellent, but he is just a 6. He's just a 6.
I don't think it's a bad thing, though, Martin, if I'm honest. I don't mind just a straight 6 coming in and doing a job because at the end of the day, as we've talked about before, even when Rodri comes back, Rodri is the type of player where you could play him more as an 8 than a 6. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I just need to double check. Where's that come from?
Yeah, it's in the Times. It's that bloody Martin Ziegler again.
A proposal to ban state-controlled clubs from English football has been included in the new governance bill. Wow.
That can't be right.
They're really trying to push this Super League. They're trying to get this Super League up and going, aren't they?
Yeah, Martin Ziegler article today. Yeah.
It wouldn't affect the likes of City and Newcastle now. I think it's more future clubs if another state wants to come in and buy, full of.
No, it's just saying it would mean we won't get a license from the new independent regulator.
No, but I don't think that. I think we would as a club. I think clubs like us and Newcastle. I don't know.
Ozzy, because the forced thingy to sell.
Everybody would sue us if we, did say it's unfair, wouldn't they?
Abramovich was a different case, Martin, because of the way the world was at that point and still is in some respects.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Do you know what it is for me, Ozzy? I wouldn't put it past them to try and do something like that. And maybe that's me being
the Premier League. Maybe, but the government themselves, I don't think so. If
the government do that, they're cutting the nose to spite the face off. Maybe.
Yeah, the amount of business we do.
I won't put it past Starmer. Jesus Christ.
That's not going to the politics.
Yeah, we're not going into the politics. It is here, I was in. It does say they would have to appeal for new licenses and City and Newcastle would struggle. It does say
maybe, but I doubt it.
Oh, Super League's coming. Come on.
Here we go.
Come on.
You're only saying that, Alan, because you finally see a game.
Just before Alan goes off the deep end, because you can see he's on the precipice right now.
I do not have anything to do with the Premier League.
Alan, let us just finish. Alan, I know you're hyping, mate, and I'm loving it, but let people just finish what they're saying, mate. I'm loving the enthusiasm. I'm loving this new Alan. Well, come on.
Just going back onto Ellis from Atlanta, the only thing for me, the only difficulty is that he hasn't got a buyout clause that I'm aware of anyway in January. And I think you're probably going to have to Atlanta, because where they are in the league right now, I think they would want 60 plus for him, and that would a City going to do that in January, that kind of deal? Are they going to push the boat out? I feel they've got to.
They've got to, Ozzy.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think they've got to. I don't think we've got much choice. We're going to be held to ransom in January, no matter who we go for unless it's a buyout clause. So if it's not Zubimendi, then Ellison from all the reports that I'm seeing, he is looking the more likely.
Edison apparently, reportedly, has agreed terms by his agent. Now it is Atalanta. The trouble is Atalanta and Sociedad. Everyone's come out with the usual. This player is not going nowhere. Everyone's now putting the statements out. No players going in January. But as Tone said on a space yesterday, that's 20 million added onto your fee.
Yeah,
this is what you're doing now. But the trouble is, people won't like this. We are gonna have to pay over the odds for one or two players now at this point. We have no choice.
Yeah, because the clubs know. Yeah, you're right.
But in this situation, clubs know we're in this situation. Clubs know we are desperate.
Even though I think Pep in his press conference after the game, I think he was asked about like certain players, and I think he was trying to kind of glass over, the amount of trouble that we're in. And I could understand that in some respects, but it's obvious to everyone what dire situation we're in with players. And I think you're right. We've got to pay. We'll be paying over the odds for no matter who, really, if we're having to go into the open market. But I think the other thing with Atlanta, though, is that as well as they're doing right now, actually financially, I don't think they're still recovered from COVID. I think they still would need money. And if they can get money by selling a player for 60 million, I don't think they're going to say no to that in some respects.
Listen, do you know what it is for me? And I've always said this. It's not our money.
No, it's not.
I think fans get too attached onto a fee. They get really attached onto a fee like it's coming out of their pocket.
Unless it's like
never
someone like Grealish, we spend 100 million.
Yeah, it's not our money, so it is what it is for me. I'm not asked if we spend 600. Listen, cheers, Alan. I know you got to jump, mate. Take care. Safe travels.
Yeah, mate.
See you, Alan.
I'll see you soon, and come on the Super League. See you later.
Take care, Anna.
Alan, before you go,
go away first.
Prediction was Sunday.
5-0 Liverpool.
Okay. Good night, Alan. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alan.
Bye, mate.
He's not welcome on the fucking watch along. Anyway, what a bastard. Anyway. I'm back with a bang, you fuckers. Anyway, right, let's move on. Starmer's a crap. Whoa, let's not do that. We're not doing that one.
I was thinking, don't press that one.
Dash, we have a greedy fee, yeah, so Zibidoo. The trouble is, everyone's going to want a Zubamenda. Every single team who wants a holding midfielder is going to want a Zubamenda.
Mm-hmm.
And Zubamenda's in the perfect position. He's sat there going, I can choose whatever I want here, lads. I can ask for whatever I want, do whatever I want. It's all in my court. He is like...
If Real Madrid come now, he is going to go there.
He is the good-looking person at the dance, who everyone is stood watching from the other side of the dance floor, and it's whoever moves first.
Yeah, but again, like Real Madrid are not looking like the team they once were. You know, they look like they'll be lucky if they could get into the next stage of the Champions League.
So are we. Everything you just said is us. Hear the English version.
I think that's it.
Temporarily.
Temporarily, I think we're above them, quite a bit above them.
Do you know what it does tell me, though? It does tell you, though, that this Galactico building doesn't always work, you know. I said, and I'm not trying to do the clever dick, but I said Mbappe was always going to be an issue walking in that football club. Because he's so egotistical. I think everyone said it. The guy is just him. And I never see Erling Haaland walking into that football club. I never see him doing it.
Yeah. Is there a world where Mbappe perhaps just is not that good? Do you know what I mean?
Don't believe he is that good.
Yeah.
Ooh,
you know, he's good, but he's not that good.
Oh, go on, Faye. Not worth a mill a week.
No, he's definitely not worth a mill a week.
Bloody hell, no.
I think there's hype, right? There's a press machine. Look at Jude Bellingham. There's, you know, everybody can have good periods in play where you're hitting it every game. You know, you're succeeding. He's a pretty player as well at times, which is what Real Madrid look.
Is he?
But, yeah, he's had his moments.
What's pretty about him?
You know, he's like, he's one of these players. But Jude Bellingham is at times plays some beautiful football, but lately I haven't seen it with either of them. I'm watching and I'm waiting and I'm watching and I'm waiting, and it just doesn't seem to be coming.
Yeah, do you know what the thing about the thing I saw about Bellingham is when he played against us in the Champions League, and where, you know, he was literally hitting the floor every 5 minutes, you know, and rolling around, and it was just like, really.
I can't stand that, Ozzy.
Yeah. No, I can't, and he's learnt it from being in Spain, because he wasn't doing that before he had his move. In Dortmund, he was a class act, but since he's gone to Madrid, you know, that's just gone through his head, and he's thinking, I am the big I am. The same with Mbappe. I've got that move to Real Madrid now. I am the big I am. And you've got someone like Vinicius Jr., who's been doing it at Real Madrid, but he's saying, excuse me, I was here before both of you. I'm the big I am. It's me who's on the sponsorship deals. It's me who's on the side of the, you know, the stadium. It's me who's banging in the goals.
And I bet you'd rather watch him play all day over Bellingham or Mbappe, because I certainly would.
Yeah, definitely. He's a class player. And I think, as Martin was alluding to earlier, the Galacticos don't seem to be appealing to working at the moment for Real Madrid. They've signed a load of players and they've not really formulated how they're going to properly play them, because, you only have to look at even before Vinicius Junior was injured. They just didn't know how to put them all in the same squad together. They've just signed a load of big names and thought it would work, and it quite clearly hasn't for them. And I wouldn't want City to go down the same route of us signing, big name stars and then being in that position. And I think this is what City have always done, is they look at the player themselves, they look at their mentality, they look at how they are going to interact with everybody.
Look at Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, exactly. Classic case.
Yeah,
even early Haaland, was a big name that he deserved to come in and have that big I am, but he's so down to earth. He's so cool. Do you know what I mean? That he's just slotted in nicely, but I think that's going to be the challenge. Is finding those players going forward.
Yeah, it's a humble Norwegian thing, isn't it? I think Scandinavian, they're very chill, but it's a shame there aren't more standout players from Norway. Could have stolen a few of
we are going to end in 2 minutes because I know people need to go. Tony needs to go now. Is it now, Tony? You need to go.
I've got 2 minutes if you're going to wrap up.
Yeah, I want to go through it. We're just going to get very. You don't have to give score predictions because Jesus, just win, lose, or draw. What are you thinking on Sunday, Elsa?
Oh, me first. I'm going to be honest. I'm not optimistic. I'd love it to be, as Toda said, and typical City somehow find a way. But I just feel, if I'm honest, looking at what's happened, and honestly, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think we could be going into the next few games really lucky if we get a draw. Because it feels that bad. It feels that with the injuries, with the mentality of certain players that can't be replaced, even if they're physically fit, like Guardiola, who I think, was one of our best players a few weeks back, but his mentality just seems to have gone, understandably in some respects. But if you can't even put him on the bench for a bit of a break, I worry. I do.
He's getting a lot of hate on social media as well, which is...
He doesn't deserve it.
Sorry,
cracking player.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I need to read this out because Bayer Dickov has been in this community from day one when it got going, and has supported me for a very, very long time, even on Man City on TV. So big up Bayer Dickov, and I'm sorry. I've had precancerous cysts that may contain cancer cells. I'm sold in rare cases. The cyst can develop a cancer removed. I hope seeing coming for me, and I hope and pray you get some good news, mate, and everything's all right. And we're praying for you, mate. We appreciate your support. I know you've not been around for a while. You've now explained why. Same with Muddy Duck. Listen, anyone who speaks to Muddy Duck, let us know. Michael Feeney's dealing with personal issues as well. So big up to Michael Feeney and Muddy Duck. We will get them back. Sorry, I also need to read that out. My apologies.
Yeah, no. You're right too, mate.
But we're all thinking of you. Bite your dick off.
Yeah, good luck.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he used to be called One Chop Your Dick Off. But he has changed it now to Bite Your Dick Off. He's removed the one chop.
It's a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
I love One Chop. One Chop was one of my favourite ever plays. He was like Inspector Gadget. He had go-go legs. He'd had no control over the ball, but just managed to get his leg around about 3 defenders and put the ball in the net from nowhere. And you're like, how are you doing? See, I've got a feeling this could happen Sunday. I am going draw. I'm going to draw. Call me mad. Call me weird. Call me everything under the sun. But I think we could snatch a draw. I'm not saying we'll be the better team. I think they might hit the bar 15 times and clear it off the line. But at some point, City has to stop. The players are going to have to turn this around. There has got to be a point where Pep and the players go, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Play for the pride at this point. Play for your pride, not the fans anymore. Play for your own damn pride now.
Yeah. you're right, Martin. You'd like to think that's going to happen, but it hasn't happened so far. And to be fair, Tuesday night seemed to be the worst of it. Do you know what I mean?
Because I don't want to go into Forest on Wednesday, Ozzy, with this again.
None of us do, mate. None of
I'm
us
not
want to go
watching.
into.
I am not having Chris Wood bagging any damn goal at the Etihad and making me look a right knobhead.
Imagine
all the
Rich.
flaking I've given him.
Imagine Rich, Martin.
No, I can't have it. My phone's going off Wednesday night. I can't
Imagine
have Chris Wood doing that.
He scores a hat trick. Yeah, you're going to be in the mud, Martin, if that happens.
Yeah, a draw would just feel like a win.
Yeah, it would.
A draw right now would
be
would
what
feel
you
like a
have
win.
him. What you have him.
I'm
I know what Tom's
thinking.
going to say because he's delusional.
What do you want me to say?
I'll be honest. I think at best it'll be a draw, but I think we might lose this and draw at Forest and then start getting better and better.
You've said a draw at Forest. You've done it. You've made it even worse.
I just
can't
think
go
it's
8 games.
I think this is just the two. They're playing so well at the minute. I think it could be a draw, but I think we might draw at Forest as well. Forest was a hard game for us last season. I think it's going to be harder than we think. But I think
up front.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool. I do think that at the minute. I mean, I watched the game against Real Madrid, some of it, and I was a bit. I'm never scared. I'm never intimidated, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not that hopeful.
No, you look like you're asleep, Fee, right now.
Right, go on, Tone. Let's say this delusional tape before you jump. 5-0 sitter, 8-0 sitter.
Maybe. No, I will go. City will win 3-2 at Anfield. It'll be close, but I just got this feeling Sunday will be the start. I had the same feeling when we played Spurs, all right? I said we beat Spurs 5-1.
So did I.
So I'm clearly deluded. But I'm going to go 3-2 win because I believe we will get better and be better. And maybe Liverpool have a little bit of not a hangover, that's not the right word, but from the Real Madrid game, it's all good. It's all
Their
good.
confidence might be dented. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just have 1 minute just to go through this thing that's happening on the chat at the moment? It's around, was there a fight and a punch up and all this sort of stuff, right? Ali clearly can't sort of gather that people hear different things or have different views or speculation. It's the same with transfer stories. One says we're in for him, one says we're not, and someone's in the middle going, we can't both be bloody. It's speculation. Take it for what it is. I have heard, right, there was no punch up and great big fight in that City changing room. Martin knows who I've got that from. He knows. He won't say, thankfully, but he knows, and it's from a good place. Martin, would you say it's a good place? Good source? Yeah. Subtle. Yeah. So that is what I've been
Someone
told.
who would know, yes. Someone who would know.
So that is what I've been told. I am not having a go at Dash or anyone else that says they've heard differently. I never discredit individual people that post stuff. I'm telling you what I've heard, and the stuff. If people say there's been a big fight and a clash, I'll say no. I've actually heard this. So, and that's what I posted on X. Someone coming on here and going, "Oh, Dash, Tone says you're talking rubbish," or whatever the wording was. Is absolute nonsense.
Yeah, can I just double down on
that?
that? Just one thing. There's things going down, though. Tell us where you heard it from. If somebody hears some news, I always use the word reportedly because things can change. But if we hear news, or Tony hears news, or Craig, whoever hears the news, they're not going to say where it's from for two reasons. Because A, they're not going to out their source.
Exactly.
Because A, people don't do that. There's a little thing called confidentiality. There's another thing called people have got jobs. Are you going to expose somebody in their job where you get sacked? Yeah. I'm not being a reason, or Tone isn't, or someone else is going to be the reason why someone loses their job.
Yeah. And also, they want to hear it, Martin. So if they want to hear it, why are you asking to out the source?
Yeah. If
you'll never hear anything again.
I know where Tone gets his stuff from. Tone is not going to say where it's from, and then they get shit on the other end.
And they would. So, look, if you can't, my advice for this sort of stuff, and it's friendly advice, if you can't handle the speculation, don't get involved with it, because you'll get transfers, you'll get Pep stuff, you'll get stuff about Chicky, Viana soon, you'll get stuff about the club, the stadium. Everything has two sides. There is always two sides. There is always someone saying yay and someone saying nay. If you can't handle that without, stirring the pot a bit, I'd just suggest you ignore it, move on, be nice.
Yeah, it is what it is. And people, like I said, people get different info from different people. It is what it is. And we're not going to, this is why, if you notice, I pulled back on some of the stuff I've said. I never put anything on Twitter. Never, ever do. I share it in stuff, but even I've gone quieter now because, hey, I'm not going to get that person into trouble. I'm not going to do that. I will not do that because I'll be honest with you, they're also friends. I'm not doing that game. We're not going to put our own personal friends into the mire.
Yeah.
That's not on.
Yeah. And again, for the, I've heard that there was no bus stop. Somebody's maybe heard it was, and someone's whoever. I don't know. Okay. I don't know who they are. I have not picking on any individual. I have no idea.
His relative works at there. His relative works at sea. He's not going to announce it and then he gets his. Come on. People just need to relax.
Yeah. It's all speculation. And look, it's not the end of the world, whatever. Just take it for what it is. If you don't believe it, that's fine. People say I talk shit or Dash talk shit, fine. It's no worries.
What do you mean, a lot of crap's causing divide?
Yeah, what does that mean?
But it happens on every channel that Allah.
Yeah, and you could also say that even if it did happen, right, just for argument's sake, these things happen in all dressing rooms up and down the country.
Yeah.
It's nothing new that players and managers and coaches don't have fallings out, and it doesn't get heated. I mean, we've seen some of the behind the scenes of the documentaries. We've seen Pep laying into the players. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't surprise me that someone's going to turn around and have a go him back or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Look, and also just to say, Ali, look, no offence to you, you can question what you like. But saying there's been a divide and a stamp on this channel causing friction, to be fair, no one did till you come on this channel today. And you've caused the friction, trying to stir it with Dash, saying I said he talked shite, which is not true. So take some responsibility, stop stirring.
And by the way,
be nice.
We speak to Dash off here.
Yes. So there's no problems with Dash. He's no problem with me. He hasn't worked. Except that there's two different sides. I don't care if you believe me or not, and I doubt Dash does. Move on.
Ali, no one's saying they're an ITK.
Yeah.
I'm not saying them. In fact, I do the opposite. Ask Ozzy. I'd tell everyone I'm not an ITK.
He says that, but I'm not sure I believe it.
It's the other person I get the info off. I say is the ITK.
Yeah.
You can choose who you want to believe. That's absolutely fine. But what we're saying is, Allah, is that, like Craig put out the other day on LB's show, he's not going to do this. He's going to get abuse. He'll stop sharing it. And if you've noticed, he's gone quiet.
Who's that? Sorry, I missed that.
Craig Party Time. He's not going to share stuff to get abuse. The trouble is, when it's not the news people want, they get upset.
Yeah.
It's not a gossip. It's not a gossip panel at the end of the day. It's just there to say, right, you're asking questions. Here's the answer to your question.
I don't know why you're pissed off, fella.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
let
it go in one ear and let it go out the other ear.
Yeah. Well, he said one of you is wrong, lying. I don't believe the parent. That's fine, Ali. We're not sat here crying about it, mate.
Because they've got different sources. Toad has one source. Dash has a family member. Believe what you want to believe. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't believe anyone.
Yeah, Ali, if you think I'm talking shit and lying, honestly, I'm fine with that. It's fine. I'm sure many people do. I don't care. I will still report what I want to report. You won't stop me, and neither will anyone else. Okay?
You don't want to hear it, mate. Just don't.
Yeah, just disappear. Yeah.
That's
it. It's all good. Just be
Listen,
nice.
I don't know why
we can all agree.
We
can all agree that Tone's a little bit deluded, maybe, with the result on Sunday.
I agree with that.
At the end of the day, I get people are angry now, but this is what I said. Go back to the very beginning. It's all opinions.
Yeah.
Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. but you can't call people liars, dicks, and all these other nasty words that people are doing, because then you've gone over the line of being opinionated there. You've got into a personal attack, and that's what we won't accept. And for some weird reason at the minute, everyone now thinks a personal attack is okay. Well, guess again, it ain't okay on the Mancunian way. You want to personally attack on the Mancunian way, you're not welcome here.
Yeah.
And that goes to anybody in the
Just
city
to say-
community.
Just to say, it says, you know, why is it shared if it shouldn't be, or something along those lines. I never said it shouldn't be shared. I don't know if somebody did, but I didn't say that, just to say.
But you don't say enough to convict yourself anyway.
No.
You just say, look, this is what I've heard, because people are asking questions. You're just answering questions in a speculative way.
Well,
I get people DMing me, as Tone does, asking me, have I heard anything?
Yeah.
You don't believe us, don't ask us the question then.
Yeah. But that's part of X, isn't it? Discussion, what you've heard. Some people just go, you know, if you hear Jack Grealish, this is speculation. I'm not saying this is true, but if someone says, oh, Jack Grealish put a transfer request in, then that's what they've heard. That's what they believe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I don't get why everyone.
X is just a
no one's saying stop watch. I'm saying when you call someone names, Allah, names, listen, please. When you call someone a liar or more offensive, then it's wrong. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is at the minute, but for some reason, there's this thing where people think they can say whatever they want to a human being.
Dash and I chatted about
I'm not a child. I'm 42 years old. If someone comes up to me at the Etihad and calls me a dickhead, well, say it to my face.
Yeah.
See what happens. Because you won't say it to my face. You won't say it to Ozzy's face. You won't say it to Fee. So things have been said to Fee tonight in this chat that is pure disgusting. And I don't know what's happened in the last month. This is why I removed myself for a couple of weeks, because people are saying things they would not say in real life. It's disgusting. Grow up. 2024. I know life's not nice at the minute. I know society is a mess, but this is a release for people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely.
That's all we're asking is, it's all opinions. You don't like it in one ear and out the other ear. That's all it is. Let's all relax. There's bigger things in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're still waiting for you to give us your outcome on Sunday, Martin. So get on with it.
Yeah.
I've already said 2-2.
All good.
I said 2-2.
Okay.
Forgive you.
I think 2-2. 2-2. I'm deluded. Let's go.
3-2.
I think if it's going to be a draw, I reckon it'll be a 1-1.
Yeah, I think you're not far wrong there.
Do you know what? There are going to be ground rules put in. There are, which are going to be put underneath. Things are going to be put in. Trust me. I said things are going to change on the spaces, and there's going to be. I'm going to have more moderators, or we're going to have more moderators put into this chat. Fee, Tone, Ozzy, Rich. Rich gets up at 5:30 in the morning to do these shows, as does Alan. Ozzy works long hours and then comes on the show. Fee has got her own business. Tone works his damn hard off. I live on 2 hours sleep. We don't do this. Come on. All we're asking for is don't have to agree with anything anyone says, but respect people.
I will say the vast, I go on plenty of channels, and the vast majority are brilliant people, including this channel. Your chat is the best chat of all the city channels I go on, without any doubt. I've said this to you offline and to other people as well. I think I've said to Fee, it's the best chat and the best group. And again tonight, I haven't seen the offensive stuff, so I'm sorry for all that sort of stuff. But what I've seen has been amazing, and they're top blues, and the 99% of blues are. And look, Ali's got a bit of a thing about this speculation thing. That's fine, but say it, move on. All good. I've got no problem with Ali. I've got no problem with Dash. It's all good.
Coffee spaces are for everyone. Speakers are just for City, but spaces are for everyone to listen to. They are recorded, but they're going to come back in a week or two. Just to let everyone know, there is, before the game on Sunday, people may not like this, they may not, but there is going to be football together. The MCFC Fans Food Bank support, along We Are 1894, Spirit of Shankly and Everton Fan Advisory Board are going to do stuff over the weekend on Sunday's fixtures to stop exploiting fans on ticket prices. So that is going to go ahead on Sunday, where all fans are going to come together. So big up to that moving forward. Don't forget as well, football prizes, brilliant shirt, brilliant competition here. Manchester Derby tickets, 2 hospitality tickets in the offing. You have got till Monday, 7:30 p.m. to get your tickets. 220 odd are still available, but over 162 have been sold. You can also win a chance of a signed Phil Foden shirt or 2 hospitality tickets to Forest. So if you don't get the Derby ones, you can get the Forest ones. And just to let you know, the Derby is officially sold out.
Woo.
So there you go. Don't forget, big up Sunday, 3:30. We are back. Watch-alongs are back. Where I'm going to have a deluded watch-along where I'm going for a 2-2 draw. So come and join us over on Big Up. Link will be on our social media platform. I am back. We are back. We are Blues, but please remember we are all Blues together. All Blues together. We can disagree till the cows come home, but do not be offensive. That's all we ask.
Criticise the team, not the channel.
Yeah.
Because we're all fans. That's
Yeah.
the important thing.
Sit in. We all got our views. All good.
Yes,
Good
Coach,
report.
you can join the watch along. Come in. You've got to go and big up. The link will be in it on. Follow me at Horsey City on social media. The link is on there, and it will be on there from tomorrow as well. Just to let everyone know, I am away for the Derby week. I can do Thursday off camera. I'm on a plane. I'm going to Prague.
Ooh, nice.
Very.
I did tell everyone they've had weeks' notice on this. I'm going to Prague for my birthday. They've had
I'm
weeks'
still waiting
notice.
to find out if I get your tickets, Martin.
Well, there you go then. Yeah, you are still waiting. I'm still waiting for my son
We'll be
to
still
come back.
waiting.
I'm still waiting on my son to give me an answer. He is going to give me an answer this weekend, so I will give you an answer. Promise you, Ozzy. But yes. Don't forget as well, when we hit 5K, whenever that will be, there is a massive giveaway of 2 city tickets at home, subject to availability, of course, and a shirt to go with as well. Brand new shirt to go with to that game of your choice. That is at 5K. And the membership, we are going to be back next week with a fan calling. We'll do the membership giveaway, which is so late. I know it is. But we'll do 2 giveaways this week where we'll get 2 fans on to come and have a chat with us on a panel show like this, where Fee came in. And Fee's now permanent. She's amazing. She's that good and that knowledgeable. And that's why we have her on.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I know Fee, you've had a lot of technical issues, which seem to have migrated from Martin to you tonight, Fee. So
I know. I'm perfect tonight.
We've got to
He's giving me the
apologise.
style up.
Yeah, but it's great to have you on, Fee. You've been fantastic since day one, and I hope you feel that you can keep on coming back because you're brilliant.
Oh, thank you, Ozzy. Cheers.
Tone,
Appreciate that.
not so
George,
much.
I'm not even going to put your comment up, mate, 'cause it doesn't matter whether she is or she isn't. Doesn't really matter whether she's bloody good looking or out.
I heard
Jesus.
that, Ozzy. I
Some
bloody heard
people,
that.
you're like dogs on eat, some of you. You see a female, it's like you've never seen one in your life.
They're like, woman.
Woman.
Me man, you
Me
woman.
male, me man, you woman. You do as I say. Come on, what is this? Stonehenge?
Head to my
Jesus.
The reason
private
Tone
account.
off, he wasn't
I'll
getting
sort
it
you
up
out.
from me, so that's what it is. He went off, and I was trying to bait him back, and you've come back, Tone. I like it.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
got
like I'm
me.
in
You reeled me in.
1800s there. Me man, you woman. What is this? Jesus Christ.
Go to my private account. You'll be happy.
I've never seen boobs. Boobs.
Yeah, get Tone's private. That'll be
Whoa,
fine.
whoa, whoa! We don't need to see Tone's boobs.
Ain't that wrong with that?
Want to see yours, Ozzy?
Hey.
They have been asking about your t-shirt tonight, mate. Well, what's that? Porn star?
Yeah. That's a W.
You calling a W, you cheeky?
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Bloody hell.
Whoa. Yeah, 152 likes. We are literally, I'm just going to tell you how many we are away from the big 5K, because there is going to be a massive, massive party when we hit 5K. I promise you, in a massive giveaway. I'm just going to look now because I need to look. That's garbage. I don't know why that's doing that. Tom was going 2 minutes ago. He's been here forever now. We are literally 352 people away from the big 5K.
Right, we need to get on a big share drive, don't we? Get following, share it all, and see.
Come on, Tone. Share us around.
That was true.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, Chromabis. It's like he's mad at the minute. I don't know what's. It's like a few defeats and everyone's gone mad into like different realm. What are you doing? Are we having a tour of your house?
Yeah, I've moved downstairs.
Upstairs, downstairs.
We'll be outside next.
Yeah, why not?
They were streaming next to me, in bed, going, "Aye, you all right? Yeah."
Don't think she'll
Good
appreciate
evening,
that
Andrew.
somehow.
We're leaving.
That's the private account thing.
Yeah, and then you look out your window and all you'll see is that Mort guy looking in the window.
Oh my God. It's a guy, bloody hell.
Tom's going to whip him out for a 24-hour stream for 5K. Mate, I could do a 24-hour stream. I don't sleep. Ask Tone. Tone's like, do you ever sleep? I'm like, no. I don't sleep. Ozzy's like, I'm like in the WhatsApp at like 4 a.m. Ozzy's just going, what is this?
The latest I've stayed up
I'm
in
on
about
night shift. I'm just like, what the hell? Sleep mine?
3 a.m.
Jesus.
Only Christ.
This is the after party.
This is usually this would happen when we've ended the show. All of this, what's going on right now?
Yeah. Is there a space tonight? No, there's not. There will be a space. I need to figure out how we go with the spaces moving forward, but the spaces will be back, I promise you. I need to speak to a couple of people to get them as permanent co-hosts and move it forward that way. That's all. I have to go back to hospital tonight. That's why. The explanation is at the very beginning. I've explained it all for 5 minutes. There's a lot going on in my life. That's why I just want to be nice to each other. You won't see me on LB's show for the next couple of weeks. I will be back. But I'm just having a little bit of a breather while everyone just calms down a little bit.
Family first, Martin.
Yeah, but we will be back. I'm permanently back on the Mancunian way now. I got asked by Hussam today. Got asked by Igal. I don't know why Igal wanted me on today. Like, friggin' hell, you're not a Liverpool fan. Hussam asked me on. I couldn't do it, but Hussam has sent me, I know he watches. Big thank you to Hussam for your lovely, kind words today. Privately, I will not share them, but we have spoken and he has been very supportive today. And thank you so much. Yeah, but I don't hide when we win, lose, or draw. That's why you've seen me on getting. I've been cooked yesterday, and I got cooked on Monday, and I'll get cooked again if we get beat on Sunday. It is what it is.
That's just from us.
Yeah, and then we go to a bloody. I didn't realise Forest was Wednesday. It shocked me that. I went, Christ, Forest is Wednesday. I know.
7:30 as well. Yeah.
Crazy.
Who comes out for who does 7:30 kickoffs on a Wednesday? At least I'll be home early. Hey, we'll do a normal post match at a normal time, everyone. 10 o'clock. LB, I'm not sure. I don't think there is a LB Friday show tomorrow, is the Tom?
If there is, well, I'm not on it.
We're not on it.
Yeah.
We're not on it. Maybe
LB doesn't exist without us too. He knows who the stars are on his channel.
We're not on it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to go on instead.
I love this, Andrew. Proud when we win, loyal when we lose. That is our motto. By the way, there was a picture put out on Facebook. That was not me. So thank you for the whoever DM me telling me to piss off the other day. I don't have no control over the Facebook. I will not say what it is, but I totally concur with those words. If you can't support us when we're losing, don't support us when we're winning. And big up to that person who put it on. They know who they are. Well done. And they're not even a long-standing City fan either.
Right,
They're
I've got to go.
Yeah, no, we're going now anyway. Take care, all. Thank you,
cool.
Fee. Thank you, Tone. Thank you, everyone in the
you.
chat. You are all legends. Mancunian way. Let's go. We're back. See you all soon.